Hi, welcome to Business Law TV. I'm your host, Onki Kwan. In this episode, I wanted to talk about how the Boba guys managed to scale from a two-person shop in San Francisco to being in Los Angeles and New York and opening up multiple locations in San Francisco. For those of you who aren't from San Francisco or haven't visited the Bay Area, you may not know what Boba Guys is. Boba Guys is a tea shop in San Francisco that serves boba tea. Boba tea is a tea that's mixed with milk, and it's usually served with tapioca pearls, so it's like a tea and dessert in one. It's very popular in San Francisco and in Asia, but besides Boba Guys, there hasn't been any boba shop that has gotten the same kind of following and brand loyalty as Boba Guys. Boba Guys has really popularized boba and made it into more of a lifestyle brand than just simply being a drink company. So I was curious about how Boba Guys managed to scale, so that led me into looking at their legal structure. And there are a few ways that Boba Guys has scaled their company, and a large part of it has to do with how they structured themselves legally. In this video, we're going to talk about the three things that Boba Guys did to help them scale. The first thing that they did was they created a legal structure that allowed them to scale. The second thing they did is they raised money. And finally, they really focused on their brand. They focused on a solid brand image, and they also legally protected their brand. These three things, they formed a structure allowing Boba Guys to scale, and it will allow them to continue to grow. The first thing is that Boba Guys incorporated when they started their company in 2012. There are two types of business entities you can form, and both of these entities protect you against personal liability. And these entities are the LLC and the corporation. A corporation gives you the most flexibility when it comes to raising money. Companies that are on the path of scaling usually incorporate as corporations because that gives you the most flexibility when it comes to raising money. Boba Guys had their eye towards scaling from day one, so they started as a corporation. And because they started as a corporation, it gave them a lot of flexibility when it comes to raising money. Which brings me to the second point, which is Boba Guys raised money. In my observation, all companies that end up scaling, they raise money. It's really hard to grow your company and scale it without an infusion of capital. In 2014, Boba Guys raised $30,000 from a Kickstarter campaign. It's very saturated on Kickstarter because that's one way that has become popular with small business owners and first-time entrepreneurs to raise money. They see other business owners and entrepreneurs raising money on Kickstarter, so they follow that path and attempt to raise money using Kickstarter. Because of that, Kickstarter is very saturated, so it's actually quite difficult to raise money on Kickstarter. Boba Guys did very well in the restaurant category. $30,000 puts them in one of the top percentiles of companies raising money in the restaurant category. We should note that in 2014, Kickstarter was one of the only ways to raise money for small companies from their community. At the time, there weren't any laws allowing a different type of crowdfunding that's now available to business owners, and that's called equity-based crowdfunding. That wasn't available at the time, so Kickstarter type crowdfunding was one of the only options available for small business owners to go to their community to ask them to support their business. In 2016, Boba Guys took out a loan from a company called Pacific Community Ventures. That's a business in San Francisco that supports small business owners. In 2016, they also raised $750,000. Starting from 2016, they began using a set of laws called securities laws to raise money for their company. If you're raising money from someone and that person expects you to make them a return on their investment, you have to comply with securities laws. In 2016, Boba Guys used the securities laws for the first time to raise money, and that year they raised $750,000. In 2018, they raised about $100,000, and this year they're attempting to raise an extra $60,000. It's interesting to note that from August 2018, when they filed with the SEC informing them that they raised money, they placed themselves in the $1 to $5 million category. But as of this month, January 2019, they're now in the $5 to $25 million revenue range. So that shows you that raising money really does give you the capital you need to grow and scale your company. And Boba Guys did that very well. The third thing that Boba Guys did that is allowing them to scale is they really focused on their brand. They focused on their brand from the very beginning, and they also focused on protecting their brand. When I first saw Boba Guys, it was 2011, and I noticed there were lines around the block in the Mission District, and people were lining up for boba drinks. And I noticed that there was this anteater on the wall. The anteater was drinking boba, and people were waiting in line, really excited to get one of these drinks. I didn't try Boba Guys until last year because I'm not a fan of tapioca balls. I just like drinking tea. So boba isn't really my thing. I just like the tea. But Boba Guys delivered. They have really good tea, and they built a huge brand following because their customers know what to expect when they go to Boba Guys. Boba Guys emphasizes quality, and they ensure that every drink they make is made from high quality ingredients, and you can see the quality touches in everything they do. Their design is very clean, modern, and minimalistic. They have black and white walls, a lot of glass, light wood detailing, and they have their logo on their stores and on their cups, so you know that you're at a Boba Guys. And they keep this consistent across every store, so regardless of what store you're in, you know that you're in a Boba Guys and you can expect the same experience regardless of which location you go to. In addition to creating a great physical brand, they also made boba into a lifestyle. I noticed these catalogs when I was in the store the other day, and they looked like clothing catalogs, but it really reinforces their brand. They're targeted to young urban people living in cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York, and they're making boba into something that's cool. So they have these models that aren't modeling clothes, but they're modeling their boba drinks. They're holding boba cups, they have their logo on it, and they're looking very relaxed and cool. And Boba Guys, they do sell clothing. They sell clothing with the words Boba Bay emblazoned in the front, and that further reinforces their brand, and it also reinforces the cool factor, I guess, I don't know what to call it, of drinking boba. In addition to their physical branding, they also made the efforts to protect their brand. They've trademarked their anteater logo, they've trademarked the name Boba Guys, they trademarked Tea People, which is their tea shop where they sell loose leaf teas. They also trademarked Boba Bay, which they use for merchandising, and they even trademarked the name Pure Milk Tea. So Boba Guys has developed their brand, and they can exploit this brand to the fullest potential by using the same brand elements over and over again. And because they trademarked the names that they use consistently and their logos, they can also exploit those brand elements as well. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope this video showed you how having a good legal structure not only can protect you against personal liability, but it's an asset you can use to really grow and scale your company. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share with anyone you think will benefit from this information. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!